Hey everyone, this is Electra. I'm a recently transitioning male to female, 44-year-old, recently diagnosed autistic with depression, anxiety, provisional ADHD, and bipolar 2. Welcome back to my channel. And please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Basically, I talk about whatever I feel like talking about. And right now, I feel like just talking about my day. So I got a new board game that I paid for. Yeah, I got this one just because I did get a game for Christmas as a gift from my mother-in-law, which was great. It's called Civolution. It's like probably one of the best games I've ever played, and it's widely recognized by like all board game people that it's like one of the best games of the year. Excuse me, for 2024. And that reminds me, I want to try to get my voice a little higher. I've been watching some YouTube videos lately, and I'm trying to just figure out, something with my voice so it sounds like, actually sort of female, because I'm tired of sounding like a man. And I did get this new game called Men-Nefer, which I found out actually is it means Memphis. Because Memphis is Greek for Men-Nefer. Men-Nefer, I guess it's whatever language they had in ancient Egypt. And this looks like a great game. It's also kind of recognized as one of the one of the most popular and known as the best games of 2024. Not quite as high as Civolution, but I think this is going to be a great game because I've always had a thing for ancient Egypt, and especially now, like in the last year, since I've been doing tarot and some magical work in like the rituals of the Golden Dawn, and yeah, ancient Egypt is definitely one of my interests. Egypt and Greece definitely are kind of like my favorites, or at least the ones I've been exposed to the most. And so that's what I'll be doing with my evening tonight after this video. I just wanted to get something put together and posted, so I'm trying to do it every day. And it's cold and windy outside. It's like in the 30s, and I don't really want to go out. I do, but I don't. I could go to a place I've been to before. I was there right before New Year's, like December 27th, and it was a really nice place. I went there on a Saturday night. They had the DJ playing like early 80s new wave, kind of dark wave type 80s music, and a lot of them were kind of deep cuts. I'm fairly knowledgeable in 80s music. I've been listening to it since the 80s, and it's always been one of my favorite genres, especially the less popular stuff. Most of the stuff you hear on the radio is like just generic 80s, which isn't bad. Some of those songs are good too, but I also like the more obscure stuff that you don't really hear unless you look for it. And so like one song they played, The Cure is like a well-known 80s band, right? But what I didn't know was that they had, they started a lot earlier than I thought. Turns out their first album was actually in the 70s, believe it or not, 1979. And then they had an album in 1980, and then another one in 81. And on this third album from 1981 was a song that they played at this 80s dance party back a few weeks ago. And it was a Cure song that I had never heard before, and it was really cool. Really glad I heard it. I have never heard it anywhere, and I listen to music from, it's been one of my kind of passions my whole life. I've never played an instrument, but I love listening to music of all kinds, especially 80s. And I was the kind of person that, like, back in the 2000s, like, remember when digital cable had like music channels as part of the service? When I lived alone in my first apartment after college in Daytona Beach, Florida, That was probably the main way I listened to music, believe it or not. I remember listening a lot to the classic R&B slash kind of disco stuff. That was that was a good channel on that service. I don't remember what it was called. I don't think they had fancy names like Sirius or XM, but it was just like, I think it was just called classic R&B or something like that. And I heard so many great people on there that you would never know. Like, you probably know of them, like if you were paying attention to music back then. Like, this would be music mainly from the mid 70s until the mid 80s at the latest. Like, I'm talking about like female vocalists like Stephanie Mills, drawing a blank, but like, yeah, how many people know who Stephanie Mills is? I would bet, like, if you ask 100 random people, depending on the demographics, of course, I would say like less than, maybe not even 5% of people would know who Stephanie Mills, the singer, is. She had a lot of really good songs from, back in the like I would say late 70s, early 80s was kind of her peak. And I mean, like that, that's how I know that, because like these cable TV music channels were just really, whoever like curated those playlists like really knew what they were doing. And I want them to know that, a person like me really learned a lot. I don't think I would know anything about that era of classic R&B without that channel back in my early 20s. Yeah, I would have been 21, 22. That reminds me. One song, not that they played this on that channel because it's kind of cheesy, but the Commodores' Brick House. This reminds me of this date. I went on a date in Daytona Beach. It was one of the few dates I went on because the school I went to was like 90 something percent male. And I dated a few times, but it was not that often. I went on a date with this girl I probably met on AOL or Instant Messenger or something like that. Back when, like, this was kind of before dating apps. This was back when you would actually have to you would just like message random people that you knew were women. At least you hoped so. And, or I did. And, you would be like that A/S/L routine, age, and then so for your younger people out there, or even the older people, that means age, sex, location, and sex as in gender. So, that's how you would meet people in that really interesting time dating wise. It was a unique time period because our outer culture was clearly not functional anymore in terms of finding dates in just like random public places. Like, I remember going to bars or clubs like in my early 20s, and back then it seemed like everyone, there was still like this cultural assumption that you would meet potential dates or, at places like bars and clubs. But because like we saw it in movies or TV shows growing up, or like that's how our parents met or something like that. But it didn't work for us. It didn't work for our generation, because looking back at it now, it's pretty simple. Like, women just basically didn't feel safe in public anymore, and they weren't open to that. People pretty much only could meet the people like for romantic interests through things like mutual activities, hobbies, friend groups, I think was popular. And I didn't have that many friends, so I couldn't really rely on that. And so that's how anyway, long story short, I went on a date with a girl, and we went to some kind of like I don't quite want to call it a honky tonk, but it was Daytona Beach. So generally things in that city are like, let's just say they're like they're not bougie. In today's world, we would call it, it was not bougie in any sense. Let's put it that way. Kind of, let's just say like mainly lower income white people, working class people. That was kind of who lived in Daytona, to be honest with you, mostly. And, and this could be my autism, but I remember it was a karaoke night, and I was with this girl, and for some reason, I just like wanted to sing. I wouldn't mind doing karaoke now, but back then, that was unique for me. Like I don't think I was trying to impress her. I really just wanted to sing. And the song I ended up picking in this overwhelmingly lower class white people, I hesitate to say this, but white trash was the predominant demographic. And I sang the song Brick House by the Commodores in this like sort of honky tonky type, is that it? Honky tonky? Yeah, honky tonk type bar. I sang that, and I could tell it wasn't that well welcomed. And like, it didn't occur to me that would be the case. I think I was kind of naive when I was younger, and I didn't really realize like how racism really was in this country. Even back in, this was before I graduated, I think. Well, no, probably not. I don't know. I'm gonna guess this was in like 2001 or 2002. So I was probably 21, I was either 20, 21, or 22. And I sang Brick House by the Commodores in front of everybody in this bar on some sort of stage they had. And I thought I did a pretty good job. Wish I had a video of that. That would be crazy. And, and this girl, I could even tell, was like, kind of, what's this? I never had a second date with her. So clearly I didn't rub her the right way. And it was probably fine, because I don't remember like really being that interested in her. And maybe I wanted to sing karaoke just to like get away from her for a few minutes without ending the date, because that would have been weird and awkward for me, I'm sure. Yeah, so at the time I didn't really understand why that was the case. Why did everyone kind of like look at me like there was something, like everyone kind of just gave me side eye, We didn't call it that back then, but dirty looks, I'd say. Everyone gave me dirty looks. And I have to assume like it's because I sang an old school classic R&B song in a predominantly white trash bar. So, but looking back at it, I'm pretty proud of that. How many people can say they did that and live to tell the tale? What else? I don't even know what I wanted to talk about. I kind of just do these stream of conscious. I don't want to script them. I want them to be 100% unedited, 100% authentic. So we can see, to me, editing videos is fine. I don't mind when people do. Like, I think for most videos, editing is a good thing. But I think for me, I want to show myself unedited, unfiltered, as just like somebody who is going through difficult times mentally and emotionally, and may always be from here on out. These are the kind of things people don't really get better from. They just have to be managed. So, well, coming up on 15 minutes, so I think we'll call it a night on this one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see some nice comments from all of you. And please like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.